And we're still feeling the profound loss of the pandemic, as I mentioned, of over 100 people dead.
True, it was over 100, Mr. President. All right. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Yeah. Keep it going. Don't stop. All right. That's enough. That's enough. So the last time I looked, America was supposed to be a meritocracy. Ever since the Pilgrims landed wherever, we knew there'd be no welcome wagon. You had to work to eat, and it wasn't like you could go running to HR if you weren't happy and had complaints. And for that reason, it was generally the best person who always got the job. Well, most of the time. Of course, there were injustices, but we've always been a nation of achievers. I mean, look at me. Where else can a guy go from a humble Chippendales dancer to the king of late night? Yeah. Stop it. Stop it. Stop with the spontaneous applause. On sale today, wherever priceless works of art are sold. You can probably go to Amazon and get it right now. But things have changed. Meritocracy is now mediocrity. And I'm not just saying that because Jesse Waters has an 8 p.m. show. Why him? Why him? He even wonders that himself. Today, wherever Dems have power, the box you check trumps the work you've done. Let's start with national defense, where they promote generals like they're casting a commercial. After our hideous Afghanistan pullout, if you dared to suggest that Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin be fired, you had to be racist. Although the dude could lose a war to Menudo and keep adding to his pension. Of course, top General Mark Milley and National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan should have been fired too. And they're as white as Elizabeth Warren. Jake Sullivan looks like an albino making a snow angel. And Milley looks like a mayonnaise sandwich. But the White House has been relentless in signaling its obedience to diversity. With Milley soon to retire as chairman of the Joint Chiefs, Biden's pushing General Charles Brown Jr. Now, this is someone who prioritized DEI initiatives and once said flat out, quote, "I hire for diversity." And this anti-meritocracy is all over. Take the Texas border. Millions of illegals already have. Texas is so desperate they're installing blow-up pontoons in an attempt to harden their defenses. Yep, the nation that defeated Hitler and invented the nuclear bomb is now defending itself with balloons, which will only work until someone brings a safety pin. DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, in charge of our border security, had this to say. No, we didn't forget the clip. He had nothing significant to say. He never does. Yeah.
Well, I was worried you were about to start yelling.
But, you know, he only talks if it's to lie about his own personnel using whips to hurt illegals, which never happened. So was this the best we could do? Meanwhile, our nation still produces 2,000 tons of nuclear waste every year, and that's just from the sewers attached to the View's bathrooms. I know, it's disgusting. So, of course, the White House's main criterion for handling it was someone who checked a box that few even knew existed. Sam Brinton, a non-binary baldy, was named Assistant Secretary of Spent Fuel Disposition, handling the nation's nuclear waste disposal. But after looking at him, the only part of that title that fits is secretary. Although I wouldn't trust him to get his boss coffee, he'd only steal the mug. He's been arrested for stealing luggage from airports a couple times. Who did that background check? This guy? Pete Buttigieg is the former mayor of South Bend, Indiana. Indiana? Is that a state? Indiana? Indiana. Population 103,000. But he's gay, so why not make him Secretary of Transportation, where he quickly took 2 months paternity leave off. And right around when our supply chain began to stack up like the line at the pharmacy after Pride Month. What? I ended up having to treat my monkeypox with green tea and wet newspapers. Meanwhile, our airline industry currently runs about as smoothly as Joy Behar's colon after a White Castle run. But complain, you hate the gays. And does anyone really think Rachel Levine, the trans head of Health and Human Services, is a good choice? Who just said kids going through the wrong puberty should receive hormone injections? That sounds like child abuse to me, but kudos for pairing the right lipstick with a 5 o'clock shadow. The scrap is reaching the local level, too. There's New Hampshire State Rep Stacey Marie Lawton. What a looker. Trans activist. Now, despite a criminal past, she was endorsed by Beto O'Rourke and Fartmaster Swalwell. And you know why. And yet she, or it, recently got busted for child porn. You can read up on it, but you're gonna wish you hadn't. And then there's this hire.
The president has done everything that he can. The president is doing everything that he can. He is doing everything that he can. We will do everything that we can. I don't have a policy update on that, but I know to tell you now, as I've been saying, we are doing everything that we can possibly. We're going to continue to do everything that we can. I don't have anything to preview for you.
I keep waiting for her to say, press 1 for more options.
Yeah, right?
But she seems articulate compared to this crackpot.
Like, what do you want to know?
Well, I want to give you that.
See, I wish it was that funny, but this combination of Xanax and a banana peel could end up running the place. Now the left will turn the story around and say, oh, look, whites are worried about losing out on jobs. No, I don't want to be in government. I barely want to work. I just don't want to die because the person they choose is so awful. You want the guy operating on your kid to be excellent or diverse? It's the only question that really matters. Hell, maybe the next diversity hire should be the pilot flying Air Force One. I wonder how that'll go over, literally. Let's welcome tonight's guest. When it comes to play-by-play, she always slays. Outkick host Charlie Arnold. You may recognize him from the cover of Lonely Bachelor magazine, comedian Joe DeVito. He's filled my shoes on red eye with cement. Fox News contributor Tom Shalhoub. And she's like the month of August, hot and has killed many Floridians. Fox News contributor Kat Tiff. So, Tom, I've noticed that you tick off no boxes at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were as bland as like I don't know.
He's getting no jobs.
Yeah, you're getting no jobs.
Well, maybe I'd be a domestic extremist in this administration.
Yes.
You gotta have a couple of them, right? Mm-hmm. This guy, the head of the diversity, he said that diversity is he purposefully likes diversity. And then he went on to say that it's because you get different perspectives, which is
kind of true.
Well, I mean, if you think, isn't it a little racist though?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So,
but since
it's false then.
Well, although maybe in a company you could excuse that, but in the military, isn't that the one place you don't want differing perspectives?
Yes.
It's like, yeah, drop, give me 20, unless you have a different perspective on exercise. What's your way of getting fit?
They do, though, have a different perspective on exercise, though.
Yeah.
The physical fitness standards, they have gone away.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the diversity?
No, because of hormone treatments. You're getting hormone treatments now, and they're giving you negative effects. You no longer have to meet the standards. You didn't hear about that?
Yeah, you get to take you get to take like 9 months off of training. Plus, everybody's so fat they got to lower the standards too. So you may not people who are obese have a different viewpoint. Tom.
Yeah.
But you didn't know that because you're fatophobic.
Yeah, well, I only read this one story, Greg.
Yeah, I expect you to read more than just the stories I ask you. I expect you to read everything. Charlie, you come from the world of sports. I'm familiar with it. As you know, I'm an excellent athlete. I turned down many offers to play professional baseball, football, and basketball, but I decided to choose a career in TV because I wanted to serve our country.
Yeah.
Do you think this kind of diversity would ever go well in sports? Should we apply to the NBA, perhaps?
I don't know that it would go so well. You know, like employing short people.
How dare you?
I don't
She
know
looked
that
right
that
at
would
me.
go over so well. I think that there's certain conditions that you must meet to play in professional sports leagues, and I think that, if they want to keep winning, they probably will keep them going the same way. And unlike our military, though, like we're assembling it now like a bad Broadway cast.
Yes.
It seems like, and I wish Russia, China, and Iran did the same things. Otherwise, the social experiment I'd be totally in for.
Yeah.
But qualifications don't matter anymore.
It does. It's like our military commercials look like an ad for Rent.
Yeah. The off-Broadway.
The Broadway Rent. Joe, you're just like Tom. You don't tick many boxes except maybe shut-in, potential serial killer, underwear stealer.
I settled that case with the laundromat years ago. I don't care about it anymore. Well, despite the rampant short phobia
Yes.
picking up from over here, I agree with them that I think they should search for the most qualified people with diversity as a factor, and from the people they've selected, they need to keep searching.
Yeah.
Because they're not giving us, I mean, this General Brown saying that diversity is the first thing he looks for, that's not, you want competence. These are people with flying around in planes and shooting missiles. I mean, look at the people up. Look at the Chinese army, not particularly diverse.
No.
A lot of Asian guys from what I saw. So, yeah, it's absurd to say that, and I don't like it because you look at someone like Karine Jean-Pierre, and she's just not good at her job.
Right.
But you can't criticize her because she's stacked up. Well, she's a woman, she's gay, she's black. And the more things they stack up, I'm waiting for her to come in with an eye patch and a crutch and say, well, she's a disabled pirate. You can't say anything to her.
Yeah.
It's the same thing they do with Greta Thunberg. They said, you can't, how dare you criticize her? She's a child. It's like, well, then why are we taking climate advice from her?
Exactly. Now, and also, she has a disorder, right? Isn't she on the spectrum?
She's on the spectrum.
Autistic, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, Kat, this fellow over here with the beard, creepy dude, don't make eye contact. He's right. The search is naturally going to be shallow because there aren't going to be a lot of people in that area. So they're going to take the first or second person because there might only be two.
I disagree. I think that there's a lot of gay men out there that are very organized.
Yes.
who would do a lot better than Pete Buttigieg.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
They run things.
Yeah.
I also feel bad because you're so busy and you shouldn't have spent all that time doing that monologue, because I feel like it's pretty clear that you have a different view on diversity just based on the panel you've assembled to discuss it. You could have just
I was waiting for that joke.
You could have, no, you
I knew
could've-
that I could guess that joke coming before I even asked
Okay,
the
well then
question.
maybe you should have made it. You could have. You
No, 'cause
could
you
have
already
just.
made it
You
about a
could have
month
just said, "Here's the news story, and with me to discuss 4 other white people."
Yes, because you made that joke already.
I do think that diversity provides a lot of. It's important to have different perspectives, and there are certain perspectives that, for example, a woman would have because she's a woman. But the fact that it ends there and you don't need to look at anything else, or that it's even the most important thing, is kind of scary because of a lot of the things you mentioned, sure, but also because you have to have different ideas too. Like, I am a woman, Charlie's a woman, but she knows, for example, more about football than the fact that touchdowns are good and that the quarterback's the one who throws it.
There you go. All right.
You're onto something, though.
Thank
Proud
you.
of you.
It's a lot further than I was 2 years ago.
All righty.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.